Okay, guys, so now we're going to learn about present, past, participle adjectives. Now, why do we call them present and past participle adjectives? Present participle adjectives are the ones that end in ing, and past participle adjectives are ones that end in ed, or if they are irregular, they're in the past participle. So, for example, right now we're going to talk about the present participle, the ones that end in ing. So if I take a verb and I end it with ing, for example, relax as a verb, relajar, and I want to change it to relajante or relajado, I have to make some adjustments to the verb. Tengo que hacerle algún cambio al verbo. The biggest change that you're going to do is you're going to add either an ing or you sorry guys, or you're going to put it in the past participle. We know that verbs in the past participle that are regular, we only add the ed. The difficult part is memorizing, but at this point, you guys already know a lot of verbs in the past participle. So with the present participle, we're going to add the ing. So to relax, we're going to add the ing and it's going to become relaxing. So en vez de decir yo estoy relajándome, right? I am relaxing on the beach, no estamos hablando de la acción de relajar, sino que el hecho de ser relajante. So, un masaje relajante o música relajante, ¿verdad? Entonces el ing lo que hace es que me hace entender que la situación lo causa el sentimiento de relajar. So, el masaje causa, perdón, causa relajación en los demás. La música causa relajación en los demás. Entonces, si yo le agrego ese ing, lo que estoy diciendo es que el sujeto de la oración son la música o no sé, la obra teatral o tal vez mi voz o tal vez mis hijos, son la causa del sentimiento. Puede ser relajar, puede ser calmar, puede ser cualquiera, ¿verdad? Con ing. So, por ejemplo, the class was so boring. So aquí estamos usando boring para describir la clase, no para decir que la maestra es aburrida, sino que la clase causó aburrimiento en los alumnos. Puede ser tal vez el libro que se utilizó o tal vez el video que se grabó, pero la clase es la causa de ese aburrimiento y por eso le ponemos el ing. The movie is amusing to the man. Otra vez, el sujeto es la película, no es el hombre, sino la película. Y fue divertido para él. La película causó diversión en el hombre. El hombre es secundario. Lo podemos incluso quitar de la oración. The movie is amusing. Punto. Porque to the man es algo extra, es algo adicional, es el complemento, el predicado de la oración, ¿verdad? The movie is amusing. ING. The vacation, it was so relaxing. So aquí estamos diciendo, no yo me relajé en las vacaciones, no, sino que las vacaciones fueron relajantes. Ellos causaron relax en alguien más, en quien las tomó. Me imagino que si yo las tomé, yo recibí ese sentimiento, pero la causa fue las vacaciones, ¿ok? So, siempre que le agregamos ing al verbo, lo estamos convirtiendo en un adjetivo, lo estamos convirtiendo en una descripción. En vez de decir relajar, estamos diciendo relajado o en el caso del ing, relajante, ¿verdad? No, en español no siempre tenemos este relajado, relajante, deprimido, deprimente. No siempre tenemos estas dos, pero en inglés sí. El ing es el ante, ¿verdad? El relajante, el deprimente, ¿verdad? Y el relajado, el deprimido es el ed, ¿verdad? No, eso no siempre es el caso en español, pero en inglés 100%, ¿verdad? Esta es la regla. Muy bien. So, vamos a aprender ahora el siguiente, que es el past participle adjectives, y de ahí nos vamos a dedicar a aprender muchos ejemplos y mucho vocabulario dentro de estos dos, ¿ok? Good job. Okay, guys, so in the next few videos, we're just going to do example after example after example after example. You'll probably get annoyed. There it is, annoyed. And you'll probably get tired of hearing my examples. But I think they're important because each of these vocab words, you need to understand the definition, the use, and the pronunciation. So basically, there are going to be five vocabulary words per video, and I'm going to give one in the past participle adjective and one in the present participle adjective. And then we'll move on to the next slide. Now, you don't have to learn them all. No tienes que aprenderlas todas, but it's important to not feel lost, basically. If you feel like, oh my goodness, I feel lost, then you should study more. If you feel, okay, I have this under control, maybe I don't know all of them, but I know the majority, then you're good. Okay? So let's start. Number one, I was alarmed by the storm coming toward my house. The storm was alarming, so I went to a shelter. Number two, he was aggravated because the waiter was very rude. The aggravating waiter lost his job. Number three, the child was amused by the clown. The clown was very amusing. Number four, I felt annoyed in class yesterday. The class was very annoying yesterday. Number five, he was astonished by the news. The news was astonishing, so he called his mother. He was astounded by what he saw on the television. The news on the television was astounding. Number two, I was bored in class today. The class was boring, so I left. Number three, the children were captivated by the musician. The captivating musician had their attention. Number four, he felt challenged by the test. The test was very challenging, so he started to cry. Number five, she was charmed by his debonair attitude. The man was charming, so she loved him. Number one, she felt comforted by the phone call from her mom. Her mom's phone call was very comforting. Number two, the child was confused by your class. The class that you taught was very confusing. Number three, she felt convinced to buy him a motorcycle. He was convincing enough for her to buy him a motorcycle. Number four, she was depressed after giving birth. Being a new mom can be depressing. Number five, my father was disappointed in my choice. My choice was disappointing from my father's point of view. I felt discouraged after hearing your feedback. Your feedback was very discouraging. I was disgusted by the food because I don't eat meat. The menu was disgusting. I felt distressed when I got your phone call. The news about your mother was distressing. I was disturbed by the weird movie we watched last night. The idea behind the movie was very disturbing. She got embarrassed during the class and didn't speak. The class was embarrassing for her. I encouraged my nephew to go to church regularly. It's encouraging to go to church. Number two, he entertained me with his stories. His amazing stories were very entertaining. I was excited for my trip to Honduras. My trip to Honduras was super exciting. Number four, I felt exhausted after a day of work. Working all day can be exhausting. My son is fascinated with dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are fascinating to my son. The leaders of the country got frustrated. The situation in the country is very frustrating. I felt fulfilled once I completed my degree. Completing something is always fulfilling. I felt gratified by the acknowledgement of my peers. It was gratifying to be acknowledged. I felt inspired by the book. The movie and the ideas behind it are inspiring. My sister was insulted when she saw what he was saying. What he was saying was super insulting. I was interested in buying a new car. The information about the cars was very interesting. Number two, I felt moved by the story of the young children. The stories they had to tell were moving. She felt overwhelmed when she saw the misery. When we see difficult things, it can be overwhelming. Number four, I was perplexed by your idea. Your idea was perplexing. Number five, I was pleased to hear you called. The music that we were listening to was very pleasing. Relaxed. Number one, I was relaxed when I went to the beach, but then it started to rain. Sitting in a hammock on the beach is relaxing. I felt relieved when my sister finally called. Hearing her voice was relieving. Number three, I felt satisfied by the explanation. The idea of leaving the country for a few weeks was very satisfying. I was shocked to hear about how many cases of the virus there were. The news was shocking. I was sickened when I heard about everybody's attitude. Their attitude was sickening. The baby was soothed by her mother's voice. The song was very soothing to the baby. I was surprised when you called me. The movie had a very surprising ending. I was tempted to eat all of that chocolate. The chocolate was super tempting. I was terrified when they told me about your accident. It must have been terrifying to be in that accident. I felt threatened when they hired a new teacher. Having competition is very threatening. I was thrilled you decided to come. The roller coaster at the theme park was thrilling. I'm tired of you ignoring me. It's so tiring to explain myself many times. I was touched by the story you told. Your testimony is very touching. I was troubled when I heard your problem. It's troubling to think that you don't have a solution. I felt unsettled by what your mother said. It's unsettling to think about that issue.